So is Rob a good traitor, or are we just in a season of bad faithfuls? Welcome to a very special episode of Survivor Squared. My name is Tony Squared. You can see Bailey Buffs on screen with you. She's back from her long stay overseas, traveling on assignment, getting more info about the Scotland castle itself to bring unto you and break down Traitors Season 4. Bailey, we've missed a lot. We have Survivor 50 around the corner, an interview with Kelly Wentworth coming out on Monday. We have an interview with the former winner Wendell Holland on the page. Survivor 50 power rankings are up and live where we broke down the entire cast. We'll be going over every Survivor 50 episode on this show the day after it airs, but we're pushing Survivor to the side for just 1 second so we can kind of tie a bow on Traitors Season 4. So the first thing I'll ask you, other than saying welcome back to the show, is have you enjoyed the ride that has been Traitors Season 4?
I've loved this season of Traitors. Again, we all know I miss optimism over here. I know that. I get that. But these challenges have been so new and so different. I've been really enjoying getting to know the characters of some of these people and the personalities of especially some of the people I've never really known before or seen highlighted on any type of reality TV.
Yeah.
It's been really fun to get to know some of these people. Like, I'm such a big cheerleader now that Johnny and Tara need their own TV show spinoff. And I would have never felt that way had I not watched this season. I have such a crush on Rob that I never did watching Love Island. I want to go listen to Eric's music now because I think he's such an incredible, lovely person. I have enjoyed it so much. Yes, maybe it's not the best gameplay we've ever seen in a season of Traitors.
Or maybe it is. Maybe it is. We don't know.
Maybe it is. We will dissect that momentarily.
Yeah. I have to say I really enjoyed pretty much from when Donna was surprisingly voted out as a traitor to the end of the Rob Candace feud. I thought that was a really fun stretch of television with them taking out Rappaport and Lisa Rinna in there getting attacked and the Black Banquet and then Candace versus Rob. I thought that was a lot of fun. Ever since then, it's been a little bit boring. And it reminds me of, and the great question we're going to answer today on Survivor Squared, if this is the first time you're watching this show, welcome. Give us a like, give us a subscribe. I just went through all the reasons you should be watching this channel, all the great guests and great episodes that we're having on as we're building to a crazy Survivor Season 50. But the biggest thing that stuck out to me, if I can tie it to Survivor, is this season, the end of this season has reminded me of another Rob. A Boston Rob on Redemption Island when he just destroys that entire cast. And it is an amazing season if you're watching it from the perspective of breaking down a victory. But good Lord, is it a boring season to watch if you just want to watch a season of Survivor, because nothing happens. The man who's on top stays on top for all 13 episodes of a season, and no one comes close to taking him off of that throne. And that's how it's kind of felt with Rob in the traitor seat in this season. The only thing you can step back, and we're going to go through everything that happened the last episode. We're also going to go through what Rob has done to get to where he is as the lead traitor heading into the final 6 with one more person murdered, really the final 5. But from the start, Rob did not have, we talked about the secret traitor angle, how Donna had this power as a secret traitor. The traitors didn't even know who she was. She was giving a short list of murders to the traitors to make the decision. Ever since the secret traitor gimmick was gone, Rob has been in control of this show from the get-go. And the only time he didn't have control was when the game didn't allow the traitors to have control. So I ask you off the jump, Bailey, before we go through it, is Rob, if he pulls this off, the best traitor in the history of U.S. traitors?
I mean, the only person that pops into my mind that maybe has outplayed him or is on the same level is Suri in season 1. She's
agree.
the only one that also has completely dominated, has completely convinced every person that she's a faithful, and really kind of manipulated the hearts of some people. And I think we saw glimpses of Rob and Maura doing that this season. We kind of saw the turmoil of being a traitor, like kind of catch up to Rob.
Yeah.
So I'd say him and Suri are probably on the same level, but other than that, no. What, you're going to compare Danielle to Rob? Like, absolutely not. We're not going to Ari to Rob. No, we're not going to do that.
Can I say my conspiracy theory, Bailey, about traitors?
Please, always.
Alan Cumming, either the last week or the week before, he's been everywhere. He's been doing all the talk shows, especially around the Emmys again, because Traitors was, all this stuff was happening. Great for Traitors. Alan Cumming came out and he was asked, who's your favorite traitor and who's your least favorite traitor? And I don't really care who Alan's favorite traitor was, but least favorite traitor, I don't even think it was least favorite. I think it was who was the worst at being a traitor. And he named Danielle. He didn't even name her. He said the girl last year that shook like a dog. What was her name? And the host, I think it was Andy Cohen, had to say it was Danielle. And he's like, yeah, she was terrible. And she was like frightened all the time. Alan Cumming is so intelligent, and he also is so catty that I do believe he doesn't believe that Danielle was the worst by gameplay mechanics. He believes that Danielle was the worst when it comes to portraying what they wanted on television. Because there have been rumors for a long time since season 3 that Danielle was kind of telling people on the side that she was a traitor so they could get a little bit farther in the game. There were also rumors that Danielle was swearing on her kids and her grandkids and really pushing up this whole act that, people really believed her. How could she lie like this? I believe Alan Cumming, my conspiracy theory is, Alan Cumming hated Danielle as a traitor because production hated Danielle as a traitor, because Tony Cavallo also hated Danielle as a traitor. I thought it was how I started on this whole Traitor Angle. I thought she was the worst traitor ever because of how much she shook like a little scared chihuahua. But the fact that Alan Cumming said that was great justification for yours truly. Sorry to get us off track.
We're perfectly on track.
I also believe that Rob is putting up a heck of a case to be the best traitor of all time. Sari, though, obviously the only traitor to come away with this victory here is bar none the number one, and we have to see if Rob can take this thing to the finish. What would need to happen, as we have 6 people left here? We have 2 traitors, Eric and Rob. We have Tara and Johnny still a tag team together. And then we have Mark Ballas from Dancing with the Stars and, of course, Maura from Love Island. What would have to happen for you to say Rob is a number 1 best traitor to ever play?
I mean, he would just have to somehow thwart them after this last episode, because I think this was the first time we see his name finally be brought up by Tara Lipinski, no less.
I know.
Crazy that she's the one that kind of figured it out, or at least had her suspicions. Granted, she didn't really stick with them at the round table.
No.
That's okay. The name got brought up. I think now, after they have just eliminated Natalie and she has told them, I'm a faithful.
Yep.
I just don't know where else their eyes are going to go. Do they really think it could be Tara Lipinski? I mean,
or Johnny, yeah.
I think Mark is the one that said it, or Kristen said it. If she's pulling a double bluff, then she's the most incredible actress of all time. She's not. She's an Olympic figure skater. She's not an actress. And she's
not very good at this game, if we're being completely honest.
She's not. And has the self introspectiveness to know that she is not doing well at this game.
No, not at all.
I don't know where the eyes are going to go realistically, if not Rob. I have a very hard time imagining them in that final, around the fire pit, throwing the different colors in there. Do we want to continue? Do we not want to? And not someone's throwing a red one in there saying, I don't want to go on with Rob. I just don't think now that his name has been brought out that they are going to be willing to take that risk. Unless Rob pulls what he's been doing this whole time and somehow gets them all on Eric. But even then, so Rob is the one that knew it was Candace, and Rob is the one that knew it was Lisa, and Rob's the one that knew it was Eric. That is going to bring suspicion. I think he is in a really tight spot to actually win this game. And I think we did see these moments of doubts in Maura, just these tiny little moments start to come up this episode. So I guess I think Rob's best move is to try to put the blame on Eric, since there have been some whisperings about him. But I don't know, Tony. What do you think? I think Rob's got a big mountain to climb up, I think.
I think it would be great. And again, I may have missed this in the actual edit if he was forced to use this or not. But I think Rob would be in a much better position if he still had that dagger. Because I believe he used it in the Natalie vote. He had to.
Yeah, he had to use it. He could either have done it last or this episode, was Alan said, it was the final 2 ones. So he had to use it.
Great. Then never mind. Because he right now is in a bit of a bind. Because if I am the traitor, I am killing Mark because Mark, I think, is the smartest of the remaining faithfuls. And the only thing that scares me about that is Tara and Johnny are a voting block. They will never vote separately. They will never vote for each other. So Tara and Johnny, whoever they throw their next vote on, is going to get banished. And as you go down to the final four, excuse me, the final four that are in the fire, they throw that thing, as you said, into the fire. Tara and Johnny still will never vote for each other. So you're either hoping to go to the end as a final threesome with Tara, Johnny, and Rob, or you're hoping to get Tara and Johnny split up now. So they might want to murder Johnny. They might want to murder Mark because, again, he's the smartest. This next decision is going to be huge. And I do believe there's a solid chance Rob and Eric can win this thing alone more than they can win this thing together. And I am interested to see who draws first blood, because Rob's already done it. He, in that confessional was saying how much he feels sorry for all the weight of this game, which, again, that could have been a little bit of the production putting that on there to make sure, give Rob a second dimension, a third dimension here. Or does Eric finally learn how to play traitors and come after Rob? Was he biding his time this whole entire time because he could stick him in the back? The only one that really suspects Eric is Mark. And so I'm interested to see how it all plays out. I don't know if Rob can find a way to the end with him and Maura as the final two, and then it's revealed Rob is the traitor, then I'm gonna blow the trumpet of Rob as much as I can that he's one of the best of all time, because that would be one heck of a turnaround. The fact that they've let Tara and Johnny stay together for this long is probably the most tenuous road that that's the biggest obstacle. The fact that they've let a true block of two stay together for this long, that's the biggest obstacle that these traitors have to overcome. However, it's not the highest obstacle. It's not the largest obstacle. It's not the toughest one to break through, because we've talked about how we loved Tara Lipinski. I loved her more than you did on our Power Rankings episode. And we've talked about Johnny and how wonderful they were. You can watch them talking about figure skating at the Olympics right now. They have been a wonderful duo for quite some time. And on this show, I was so excited to see them. And I had Tara ranked very high individually because I thought she would be very much an intelligent game player, a person who could see all the angles coming. Love Tara to death. Love Johnny to death. They have been the exact opposite of this. Johnny a little bit more than Tara in the fact that he's a little bit more analytical. But good Lord, are they getting run over by just common sense and facts. And it's kind of disappointing to see. Tara, as you said, pinpointed Rob early in this episode. And then her and Natalie fighting at the round table because Tara's too afraid to bring a name up. She even opens the round table saying, hey, last time me and Johnny talked a lot, so this time I'm just going to sit back. There's 7 people left. There's 7 people left. If you are sitting back now and you have intuition on someone, this is the exact wrong time to step back. So
yes,
we talked about Rob as the traitor. Can we talk about them as the faithfuls? Because I think it's truly some of the worst faithfuling we've ever seen. I have ragged on Dolores from season 3 for a long time. I thought she was a moron, how she played that game. I think Dolores would be one of the best faithfuls in this game. And it's just been everyone's following the leader. Like, all of these vote outs have been really, really heavily swayed one way. And most of the time they've been wrong, Bailey. So are these just bad faithfuls?
Yeah. Well, so yes, I'm going to answer this in 2 parts. Yes, I do believe these are bad faithfuls, but I also think there is an aspect that we have to acknowledge because of which faithfuls we have left. I think the murders that they have done as traitors have strategically taken out the people that would have been threats now. So I think that there is something to be said about the fact that taking out Ian and Rob and Monet Exchange and Jam Jam pretty early on in those murders is the reason now they are doing so well. They very strategically somehow was able to see the people that were going to be bad faithfuls and made sure to keep them in. And then they kept in the people that may not be bad faithfuls, but they knew were going to be a threat as a traitor. So then they saw them go in banishment. So I do think it's a little bit of 2 truths can exist at the same time. I do think the remaining people, the faithfuls we have not played this game well. But I do think the reason that those specific people are still here is because of the gameplay and the tactics by the traitors, more specifically Rob. So part of me just thinks, again, accolades to Rob, like hats off to him. I do think it's more that it is bad faithfuls, but my God, these faithfuls are terrible. They're just bad. I mean, even watching that round table, like I was cheering for Tara. I was like, oh my God, she figured it out. She's the first one to think Rob. Like, speak up, girl. Make your point. Say your thing. And then to sit at the round table, I could feel Natalie's disappointment because I can only imagine, like, what she said was exactly true. Where was all this 30 minutes ago? Where was this 2 hours ago? You were rallying for this, and I stood behind you, and now I'm the one leading the crusade against it, and you're sitting there quiet? Like, that's bad faithful play. That's bad faithful. Like, she is so easily swayed to, I think it's this, but maybe it's not. I think it's this person, but I don't know. And so you just can't be so on the fence in this game. I feel like you have to take risks, and maybe they don't pay off. Like Colton. Colton was taking a ton of risks. Yes, he got murdered and he's not at the end, but he helped the campaign for the Faithfuls move forward. And that's what you have to have in these Faithfuls. You have to take big swings for the sake of the group. So I think it's a lot of two truths existing at the same time, but the remaining faithfuls we have, I'm just not threatened by in the slightest. If I was Rob, I'd be like, yeah, I got this. I got this.
Again, the only thing that does scare me is the two people voting together consistently as a traitor. But I will say, speaking of being together consistently, the thing that probably leaves me the most disappointed out of these faithfuls is how much Tara, and she did it in this roundtable with Natalie, how much Tara relies on Johnny to be her protector. And she even sits back at one point and like she's having a back and forth with Natalie, and she even sits back in her chair and goes, Johnny, essentially telling Johnny to say something. And Johnny jumps in going, well, this is how it is. I understand. They're a duo. They're a tag team. They're brothers in arms, best friends. I get that. I'd stand up for my best friend. I understand it. But too much of the time, to me, Tara just sort of sits back and lets Johnny come in and, like, you know, hit you with a left hook when you're having the fight one-on-one. And yeah, it's been tough to watch, tough to find a way forward to root for them, because we can, and I guarantee you it's tough for production. Like I think they're kind of bored with how this season, because every one of these round tables, really, it's been pretty clear who's going home before we even get to the seated portion of the round table, and that's kind of rare for this show. What would be, before we move on, I do want to go through the murders in a second, but what would be the worst outcome for you, Bailey? What would be the least deserving outcome? Because for me, if they don't murder Tara or Johnny here, and Tara or Johnny end up, like, because if I'm Johnny or Tara and we end up with 5 people left and there's still 2 of us, I'd be like, listen, we just need to win 1 vote, and me and you are voting everyone out till it's just me and you. Like, I don't care if you trust Rob. I don't care if you trust Eric. I don't care. We're voting every one of them out. Me and you are winning this tag team. Done. Kind of like how CT did it with in season 2. So
yes.
So but that outcome, when you're looking at this as a whole, when you have to go back and say, hey, who won season 4? And it ends up being Tara and Johnny, that to me would probably be the worst outcome out of the least deserving outcome, right?
I disagree fully. I think the most unworthy, like, win would be if somehow Rob gets voted out and Eric wins the whole thing. That's what would piss me off. That would piss me off. I would be so freaking mad if Eric somehow just skates his way on and he makes it to the final 3, and then it's Tara, Johnny, and Eric, and they're like, yeah, faithful's till the end, and then Eric wins the whole prize pot. I'd be so pissed.
Well, now that we have 6...
Johnny and Tara have been fun TV. Like,
That's
Eric,
true.
love you. You've done nothing. You've done nothing but be there. He's been so off on everything. I know that handwriting. No, you don't.
Oh,
I
yeah,
know
the
that
magic
giggle.
ear.
No, you don't.
The magic
no,
ear.
you don't. The magic ear. Everything he said has been so off base. And even his recruitment, I was like, he's shaking in his boots. The breakfast after, couldn't speak. Hasn't spoken at a round table since he's been
Literally
recruited.
hasn't spoken since.
He's done nothing. If Derek wins, I'll be pissed.
That's fair. That's fair. I didn't think of it that way. That is very fair. Well, we have 6 people left, Bailey. We obviously know one of them is going to be murdered in plain sight. By the way, traitors, I understand we're going for the, big reveal, the shocked faces. I think one too many murders in plain sight this season, but that's okay.
Yes, I agree.
We have 6 people left, Bailey. You have where we ranked them in our power rankings at the start of the season. Where do they land on the numbers? How'd we do?
So we did pretty good. I just went for the top 10 I was looking at to see how we kind of landed with that, with one exception. We did put Maura at 11. So we have her kind of almost in that top 10, and she's still with us. We ranked Natalie at 9. So Natalie just kind of missed where we thought she was going to be, having just said goodbye to her. We had Eric at 8. So he's still in it. That's so accurate. We had Johnny at 6, and we had Rob at 4.
Yeah.
So we weren't entirely off base. Yes, we had Kristen and Jam Jam and Tiffany as our top 3. Unfortunately,
Tiffany was probably our worst.
Obviously with us. That was probably the worst one we had. Kristen, we had her winning the whole thing, and she made it very, very close. She played a great game. I think it was a very smart move to get her out. She really, I think, if she had still been with us, I think Rob, bye-bye. So that was a smart move. But I think we did fairly okay with our power rankings of who's remaining. Yes, Tara is still there. I took her out at like 22 or something like that.
That was your fault. I had her in my top 5.
I will apologize till the ends of the earth, and I will never live it down. But we did okay with our power rankings. We weren't totally off base.
Yeah. As we enter into the finale here, we've given you the prediction of what we think is going to happen, of what the worst case scenario is going to happen. Again, I do want to go through these murders real fast because it's on the resume of the traitors here. Those first 2 murders of Ian and Rob Sesternino were definitely, they were going after the game players. This was Donna Kelsey's doing. She gave the short list, so we can't really give those to Rob entirely because, again, he's kind of given a short list of people. One of them had his name on it. But again, they went after game players earlier. That's when Tiff was voted out, and everyone's like, they're coming after the game players. And then it's a sharp switch into Carolyn Stanbury, Monet exchange, 2 in a row where they're not game players. Monet's very good at the game, but I thought Carolyn was sort of a false flag operation where they're just murdering a housewife just to get a random person out. And Monet was directed because Monet started speaking names to people. He started talking to too many people out there and got ousted. I thought that was a great murder. Jam Jam was obviously Lisa's choice. She had to do it in plain sight. But the next 3 here, starting with Colton and then Dorinda and Kristen. Colton was obviously offered by Candace, and Rob immediately said yes because he knew how the room would react to that murder and who they would turn towards and how easily it would be to pin that on Candace. This is when Rob just sort of takes the game by the throat and never stops. And then Dorinda, probably as much as I dislike Dorinda, it was a surprising murder until you step back and think of there's probably 2 people left in this game, Dorinda and Natalie, who would stand on their own 2 feet no matter what the room was doing and say, I think it's you. Natalie was so close with Rob, he wasn't scared of her. Dorinda was an absolute wild card that would have pointed the finger at anyone that she truly thought. And Rob said, I can't have that. And then finally, Kristen, as we know, was the smartest person in the castle still. So I think the last 3 murders, Colton, Dorinda, and Kristen, really shaped this game perfectly for Rob. And we'll see if he can continue with it to the finish. But before we finish on this episode, we do want to kick it forward, Bailey. We have Kelly Wentworth coming in on Monday's episode to break down Season 50. Wednesday is the Season 50 premiere. We'll be going live that Thursday to talk about that Season 50 premiere. Who's the first person booted out of Season 50? Can't wait to dive into it. We've given out our winner picks. We've given out everything we've wanted to do, the power rankings, all that stuff. But to tie it into Traitors a little bit, Bailey, I asked you, and I wrote them down myself, because I talked to Kelly Wentworth about being on Traitors. Would she ever want to be? Of course, the answer is yes. And so I got to thinking, what are the 3 Survivor players that you want to see on the Traitors? I'll give you one name first because I just watched this season. It's not the biggest name, however, I believe she fits the mold of a person who could be on Traitors and be perfect. Mostly because I've fallen in love with Maura and I fell in love with this lovely lady and I want to see more of her. But Venus from season 46, I think would be perfect in the world of the Traitors.
Yes.
Bailey, give me one of your three.
Well, I'm just going to stay topical since we already mentioned her, and maybe this is a very obvious one. I want Kelly Wentworth. She would be incredible. She understands the gameplay. She's already an iconic, like, online persona. I think Kelly is just an absolutely perfect choice to be on Traitors, and I think we'll probably see that in the next coming seasons. There's no way she doesn't make it on there at some point.
Have to. One of the other players, because on Traitors, they really like to get former Survivor champions. They've had Parvati, Sandra, Tony, Jeremy. They've had all these great Boston Rob, all these great former champions. Natalie on this season, Jam as well. I can go through them all. So I tried to go through a list of former winners, especially some of the greater winners out there. And I thought Kim Spradlin, I loved her on Survivor. I don't think she'd be great in Traitors. I do think, however, one of the best Survivor winners would be amazing on Traitors, and that's John Cochran. I would love to see Cochran. I would love to see John Cochran in a season of Traitors. Bailey, you would as well.
Yes, I also was trying to think of a past winner, and I immediately was like, Cochran. He's the best gameplay. He teaches classes on gameplay and strategy and reality TV, and he's so lovable and he's so unassuming and he's so nerdy and he'd be terrible at challenges. And I want to see Cochran. It would be amazing.
And then the last Survivor player I'd want to see on Traitors, I went with a wild card, someone who would be there just for the vibes, just for the laughs. And I have no idea how this would turn out. I didn't even really like this person on Survivor, but a lot of people do. And that's Special Agent Philip Shepard. I'd love to see I'd love to see him in that castle because Bailey, he would take it so seriously. He would take it so serious. And he would think he'd be great at it.
He would make so many enemies so quickly.
He'd be like Sherlock Holmes, like interrogating people.
That is such a good call out. That didn't even cross my mind when I was thinking about this. Great idea. So my last person is also entirely for the vibes. I just think that they make great television, and it's someone that could easily be chosen to be on the show. Maybe it's a little obvious. Bring on Mike White, man. Mike White would be a great, entertaining person to watch on this. He might not be great at the game. Don't get me wrong. He's not the most strategic, as we have seen. Maybe he'll change our minds in 50. But I think Mike White would be an excellent person to bring on. I just think there's so much to learn about him. He's a great TV personality. He has so much background. And I just think he'd be a fun one to see in the castle, not in the turret. Don't make him a traitor. But
Please don't. Please don't.
Please don't make him a traitor.
You can make Philip Shepard a traitor, though. That'd be a lot of fun. And that is it for this episode, breaking down, leading into the finale of The Traitors. Very excited for it. Very excited to see how this all wraps up. Who knows what Rob can do, and hopefully, as Bailey said, it's not Eric, what Eric can do. But we'll be covering for the rest of time, Bailey, we will be covering Survivor Season 50. It is here. We have made it. Again, we have so many guests coming on this show. Me and Bailey will be breaking down every single episode. I'm so excited for the road that is ahead. Me and Bailey might even be out there in these streets searching for an idol in lovely California. Who knows what the future holds for Bailey Buffs and Tony Squares. But for now, thank you for watching Survivor Squared, and we shall see you next week.